Oh man, we're on. This is us.
We're on.
Don't Copy That Floppy.
Who is us?
I'm Lex.
I'm Dan. And we Don't Copy That Floppy. You said it before I could say my thing.
I'm sorry. I stepped all over your intro.
You did. After I stepped all over yours. It's a give and take relationship.
So we're a weekly video game news podcast. We're broadcasting on chipit.net. You can go to the chipit.net website and listen using their on-site player, or you can download a playlist file, play it in iTunes. That's what I do.
Yeah, and we have a Facebook page. Don't Copy That Floppy.
We've got a Twitter at DCTF Podcast.
And we also now apparently can do a chat room. And there's some people in here. If you want to find it, come to chipit.net and hit chat at the top and join on in. It'll be great. You can yell at us during the show.
And we might respond. We probably won't because we're too busy.
We'll do our best, but no promises.
But don't forget, we're our newest place that we're at, the most important, iTunes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We're on iTunes.
That's right. I'm so bad at remembering these things.
So we actually have a show archive. We've only got the first 4 episodes up right now. But Dan is getting me all the rest of the episodes, so we will have the new ones up there probably over the weekend, and that's like a dozen episodes, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty good backlog.
So you can,
for people who are just now tuning in.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, Don't Copy That Floppy, I think, is all you need to search on iTunes, and you should find us on there. You'll recognize our little logo image that I made. That's on our
super
Facebook.
Nice. You did a good job.
I like it. So.
Well, let's start this week.
Wait, what are we talking about this weekend?
God, I forgot we did
Give me the overview.
The overview. We're going to talk about something we talked about last week, a very exciting video game Kickstarter.
Oh, man.
So that's coming back. Anyone who listened to the last show knows what we're talking about. We're going to talk about a new announcement from the Behemoth, which is a video game developer, for anyone who doesn't know. Not like a big monster that makes video games.
That would be great, though.
That would be cool. Talk about a new Pokemon game announcement. Not specifically even from Nintendo, but from the Pokemon Company.
Ooh.
A shocking announcement. We're going to talk a little bit about the Wii U games. We're going to talk some about GameStop, as we've made a habit at this point. We're going to also talk about a Forbes article about desirable video game companies to work for. Mm-hmm. And I believe, Lex, you said that you were kind of surprised by some of the ones on this list.
I mean, certain ones I was totally like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely,
but a lot of the middle of this top 10 list, very surprising.
Yes. And then we have a little snippet about World of Warcraft and Robin Williams.
Our human interest piece.
Our human interest piece. That's a good way of putting it. And as always, we'll end off by talking about some upcoming games. And I don't think we're doing a review. I mean, I can just like complain about Dishonored or something if we don't have a review.
You can do that.
Let's just do that. If we have time, I might just bash Dishonored for a while because I wasn't a fan. Oh no. I don't want people... Oh, this is going to be scary. If I say I don't like things now, people can directly respond in the chat. I'm so embarrassed.
You're going to be held accountable by the populace.
The fame is too much. So, let's start. Let's get right into this. So, what did we talk about last week?
Last week, our headlining story.
Night Trap. Specifically, Night Trap revamped. The remake of the Sega CD classic.
Dude, there's a lot of puns in this episode. I just realized.
Yeah, seriously.
Man, horrible. Kill me now.
Oh, no, it's great.
So Night Trap revamped. Should we update on how the Kickstarter's doing?
That would be a good place to start. So the Kickstarter, last week we talked about this. The Kickstarter was sitting at about $33,000.
And that was about a week in to it?
Yes. So it's in its second week, well into its second week. We checked just before the show again. The Kickstarter has moved from $33,000 to a whopping $35,000 in the last 7 days.
So this won't get funded.
It's
not going to happen.
They're having some trouble. They're having some trouble with their Kickstarter. And the reason we bring it up again is not just for that little update, although that is relevant to this other article.
Super relevant.
The reason is a Polygon article from the 16th about Night Trap and Nintendo. Specifically, the Tom Zito, the head of the Kickstarter, lashing out at Nintendo and I believe I can find this update on their Kickstarter.
It was actually a Kickstarter update? It wasn't just him giving a separate interview?
Yes, it was.
Oh, no.
So, this is this is really long-winded. So this is a long-winded piece of writing, which basically is it's Tom Zito complaining about Nintendo and saying that 20 years ago Nintendo threw them under the bus when all these hearings were happening about Night Trap. It says that they were throwing them under the bus by creating a reel of Night Trap, the Sega CD version of the game, which was presented to a U.S. Senate hearing. So he's saying that since Nintendo was the ones who put this reel together, that it screwed them over somehow. And maybe, I haven't seen the reel.
I mean, it's weird that Nintendo was like, here, let us make a reel for this hearing.
It is really odd.
But it's not ridiculous to say, like, a reel of your game was going to be shown.
Yeah, no, it's not at all. So, he says that through its lobbyists in Washington, through Nintendo's lobbyists in Washington?
Everybody has lobbyists.
I guess.
Even Nintendo in the early 90s.
But really, like, lobbyists for Nintendo? Anyway, Nintendo delivered that edit to members of the committee's staff, and Night Trap instantly became the lightning rod and poster child for video game violence. The witch hunt was on.
Oh, okay, so they're more saying, like, Congress was out for blood, and Nintendo
they provided them with Night Trap.
Yes, maybe divert attention away from Nintendo's gory franchise.
Yeah, and now, but at the same time, this is baffling. Because he immediately has also said, that if people. He says, as some of you have pointed out, this was 20 years ago, as if like the fans needed to point that out to him. So Nintendo's a very different company run by very different people. If you want Night Trap on Wii U, we'll endeavor to give it to you. To that end, today we applied to become Wii U developers and publishers. So this is all happening as the Kickstarter just made $2,000 in a full week towards its $330,000 goal.
Yeah, so this is weird on several levels.
Yeah.
One, that they applied to try and do this because their Kickstarter is obviously not going to make it.
After such a kind of like venomous post about Nintendo.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He just spit Nintendo's eye and just said, "Oh yeah, can we develop for you?"
Yeah, people want it on the Wii U though. Can we make that? Can we make that happen?
If I was Nintendo, I'd be like, no.
No.
And it doesn't matter because your game's not going to get funded.
It's not going to get funded. So it's just baffling. And the Kickstarter was criticized also for its weird rewards.
It does have a lot of weird rewards.
It has too many pricing brackets for its rewards. If you scroll down the Kickstarter, it goes down for like more than half of the entire page. Only goes down that far because there's so many pledge options.
Yeah, only like a fourth of that page is actually the
Kickstarter information.
The
it's
rest
insane.
Of the page is just pledge options.
And they're all like really arbitrarily limited in number. Like and they all seem to sort of be the same thing.
Well, this is last week we were talking about Kotaku article where they interviewed the Night Trap people and they bashed it, and that was one of their main points. That was like these rewards don't make sense.
I guess I didn't take a close enough look at the rewards section on this because I think they're absolutely right.
No, they were right about that. I think the article was unfair in a lot of other ways. And you can listen to last week's episode.
You sure can.
In our archive when I upload it.
This is great. We can reference things now.
And people can actually go back and listen to it. Technology, Dan.
The Night Trap Kickstarter, Soldiers On.
We should do a weekly update on this until it ends.
We should.
And this week, an update to Night Trap.
This week in Night Trap. I like it. So,
So last week I meant to talk about this, but I didn't get a chance to. Some of the history of Night Trap.
Oh, go on.
Little quick.
Oh yeah, you mentioned you wanted to say this. Yeah.
Night Trap, because it's all like real video footage, was actually supposed to be one of those VHS games.
Really?
And it was all filmed in '87.
Really?
And it was going to be called Scene of the Crime.
That's
interesting. And it was like Hasbro was
Did it
developing
feature scat operatives?
Yes. No, actually, it probably didn't, because if
Yeah.
you look at the footage from the Sega version, they actually directly reference Sega, and they
Right.
hold the controller and stuff. So
Yeah.
that footage must have been filmed later.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
but yeah, so they did that. Hasbro
So it
was
was
going to make this
repurposed
thing.
into the Sega CD game.
Yeah, because the funding fell through. Hasbro was like, VHS games are just not a good idea because they never were a good
Nope.
idea. Although there's that Dungeons and Dragons one,
Dragon Strike?
Dragon Strike.
But that's not really a VHS game. It was just a VHS tape to teach you how to play Dragon
That's
Strike.
true.
Anyone who doesn't know, go on YouTube, look up Dragon Strike instructional video.
Oh my
That is a
God.
half an hour of bliss.
Pure gold.
Pure gold.
The man scorpion is poisoned by its own venom.
The man scorpion, the guy from Whitesnake playing a barbarian. It's not actually the guy from Whitesnake, but man, he could pull it off.
The most convincing owlbear.
Oh my god, it's stunning.
It's amazing.
Great CGI on the dragon, too.
And the DM.
So yeah,
Such a
Dragon
good
Strike,
actor.
check it out. It's not video games. We shouldn't really be talking about it.
Anyway, so yeah, the scene of the crime is what Night Trap was originally going to be. The funding fell through for the VHS thing, so this footage just sat around.
Yeah.
And then the company, and then Sega, I think it was Sega who made Night Trap. I mean, I know it was on Sega CD. But they just bought this footage and were like, I guess let's make a video game out of it.
Yeah.
So it was already like secondhand repurposed stuff, even when they made the original video game.
Just terrific.
So if you pledge this Kickstarter, you'll get third-hand video game if this game gets revamped.
I have a very serious question for you right now, Lex. Can we repurpose this podcast to be entirely about Night Trap?
I think so.
From now on.
We'll do a Kickstarter.
Every week.
We'll do a Kickstarter not to start another podcast, but to re-edit our old podcasts
to be entirely about Night Trap.
Night Trap.
I like it. So let's talk about something cooler than Night Trap.
So that can't be done then. I'm sorry.
This podcast is over. The Behemoth, a game developer, has announced. That was a good one. Don't copy that, Night Trap. I like having this chat here. It's good. It'll really add something.
Yeah, we've been getting some great comments on this chat. Thank you guys.
And I'm always about people complaining about Thief. So anyway, the Behemoth, developers of Alien Hominid, Castle Crashers, and Battle Block Theater. These guys are great. They got their start on Newgrounds.com.
Yeah.
Doing Flash games.
And they have that very distinctive animation style.
Yes. Yeah, you can recognize their games in a second. They have announced their fourth game, which is currently just called Game 4. Spectacular.
Mystery.
You can... Mystery.
I was going to say mysterious, but then I stopped halfway through.
It is a mystery. Almost as much of a mystery as Night Trap.
Night Trap.
Night Trap. So this this developer, they've made all the games they've made have been very good thus far. So this is cool news. And there's a little teaser you can watch for it
It's a minute long. It's amazing.
It's delightful.
The bear.
It's great.
It's got an amazing narrator who talks
Yes,
about...
who I believe is the same person who narrated Battle Block Theater. For anyone who did play that. I believe it's the same guy, because he did a great job in Battle Block Theater, too.
There's, it's the cutscene is just like a giant floating bear in space.
Yeah.
It appears to be dead.
And it impacts the Earth.
Yeah, and
everything
an
changed.
Yeah. And like, the game, I guess, is set in that post-apocalypse.
Yeah, there's no other real details about it. Like, I'm sure it's going to be some sort of side-scrolly action game.
One of the things they said was, and I don't know if that quote is in the IGN article that we were
the one I'm
referencing.
looking at doesn't really have.
But they talked about how they were like really excited to bring a new take on another genre, because that's what they have been doing. Because like Hominid was a shooter.
Yeah, Hominid was like an arcade shooter, sort of.
Castle Crashers was sort of like that, but more of just a beat 'em up.
Beat 'em up with RPG elements to it and stuff.
And Battle Block was like a puzzle platformer.
Yes.
So since the trailer for Game 4 has a lot of like hexagons all over the place, and it's like imagery.
Yeah.
People are speculating that it might be like a strategy game.
Oh, interesting.
Where you're on a hexagonal board.
Yeah.
Turn-based, maybe.
A mystery.
A mystery.
The game's gameplay is a mystery. So, that would make sense, though, because they could do almost do this post-apocalyptic setting with all these different factions. that you would choose to
Yeah.
play as, and have it be like a StarCraft, Warcraft style RTS game. That'd be very neat, actually. That sounds cool. And I'm sure they do a good job. They also said there's no console information has been given for this yet. We don't know what it's going to be on.
Well, we know.
Although it is safe to assume that it will be available for at the very least PC and Xbox.
Yeah, because there are other games all seem to be on that.
Yes.
So.
But they did not confirm or deny.
And we know with PS4, I mean,
and the game will be showed off at PAX Prime, which starts on August 29th.
That was the PAX that started soon. I thought it was PAX Prime.
Yeah, you were right. The one was starting soon.
I'm excited for that because I can't wait to cover the stuff that goes on then. Because PAX, you always get good news out of PAX.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we know that the Xbone and the PS4 have been giving a lot of lip service to indie games, and this is a company that makes indie games and has been extremely successful in doing so. So I'm hoping that this will show up on both of those consoles.
Yeah,
and I think that there's a good chance that it will.
Cool. Well, yeah. So that's that. Thanks, the Behemoth. You keep making delightful little video games.
Hey, listener, did you just tune in? Are you very confused that there are two people talking about video games instead of chiptune music right now? Well, you are on chipbit.net. Usually it streams chiptune music, but right now it's Don't Copy That Floppy.
What a pleasant and wonderful surprise.
A mystery.
Yeah, so we're a video game news show. We have a Facebook and a Twitter.
Twitter is at DCTF Podcast. Facebook is just Don't Copy That Floppy. We're also on iTunes, Don't Copy That Floppy. And we have a show page and an archive on the Chipit website.
According to a Shugnussie in our chat, the Behemoth is a Microsoft exclusive studio.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Under the thumb
yes.
of the Xbone.
I'm sorry to interrupt your station identification.
Under the Xbone.
It's relevant information, though.
That is good. See, this is we also have a chat, which you can go to at chipit.net.
Yes. It's just chat up on the top.
Yeah, there's a little menu bar.
You just log in with a nickname and you go to town. You can yell at us. You can correct us.
Fridays?
Lord knows we need it sometimes.
Fridays 7 to 8 is when we broadcast.
Yes.
We're obviously live.
Yep.
So you can go in and chat with us then. You can ask us questions. Maybe we'll answer them on the phone or on the air.
On the phone.
On the phone.
We'll just post your phone number. We'll give you a call.
We probably won't know the answer to the questions, though, so that you don't bother asking.
If you have questions about Monster Hunter, I can field those.
Okay, good.
We got it covered.
If you have any questions about Night Trap,
you can field it. Lex has you. Anyway, let's talk about the Nintendos. No, this isn't what we want to talk about. Yes, it is.
It is.
It is what we wanted to talk about. Nintendo. So, in a nice piece of news for Nintendo, following Gamescom, the pre-order numbers for some of their games went up, which is good because they need it.
It's just nice to be hearing good sales numbers coming out of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because we haven't heard much of that.
An 8.67% increase in pre-orders following Gamescom. Specifically for Wii U games, which was 3% more, about 3% more than PS4 and about 6% more than Xbox One. So they saw a bigger increase than the other two big consoles. So that's nice. That's good for them. This article on Destructoid also stresses that this does not mean that Wii U games were pre-ordered the most. It just means that they had the biggest increase.
Yeah.
During that period.
Because they're definitely not ordered the most.
No.
I would never believe that.
No. I just figured we should clarify anyway.
Yeah. But this is good. This is overall good news because...
Yeah. And Hyrule Warriors is one of the biggest of all the games with a pre-order increase following Gamescom. Hyrule Warriors is number 4, it looks like. Project Cars was number 1. What is Project Cars?
Does it have to do with Disney Pixar's Cars?
The
movie they keep making sequels to?
I don't know. Project Cars, it is a next-gen racing game.
Oh, that was my second guess.
That is what I would have guessed. So Project Cars, next-gen racing game, followed by Rise of the Tomb Raider. I hate that title.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
It sounds like a Nolan Batman movie.
Bloodborne, yeah. Which, by the way, Bloodborne got an awesome 6-minute gameplay demo at Gamescom that I watched recently, and it looks super
Didn't we talk about that last week?
We talked about the gameplay trailer, but we had not yet seen the actual like demo footage, which it looks fantastic.
Excellent.
Hyrule Warriors and Quantum Break. So
I don't understand why people are excited about Quantum Break.
Like Quantum Break is that one with like you have time powers and stuff, right?
Yeah. It looks like it's fine, I guess.
I also don't think it looks particularly remarkable.
I mean, on the one hand, though, I'm happy that people are excited about new IPs.
And they are doing some interesting stuff with the time powers. They're not just doing time powers the way most games have done them. You can do some more creative...
It's not just bullet time?
It's not just bullet time, basically. Yeah. Like, you can time freeze, like, individual parts of the environment and things like that. You can time freeze a soldier and run over and just, like, take his gun from him and things like that. So they're getting a little more, like, creative with it.
That's cool.
But at the same time, it's still, it's a third-person shooter with a time power gimmick. So, I don't know. It'll probably be good.
All right.
Quantum Break. Gamescom. Let's talk about GameStop.
Oh, I actually will.
Oh, was there another thing to bridge between these?
To segue between Nintendo and GameStop.
Nice.
So GameStop had recently done this a press conference about their earnings and everything, which we're going to get to in a second. But one of the things they talked about really briefly was about the Wii U, and they were like, "Listen, we at GameStop are confident that third parties will make all sorts of great games for the Wii U's interface." And that was like, there's one of the things that they took the time to like say that, and I was like, but that never happened with the Wii.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to happen with the Wii U.
No.
Like, that's just...
integrating all the gamepad, touch screen stuff.
Like, don't get me wrong, I would love it if third parties could do that, but they can't.
No, it's just not viable. Like, it takes too much money to develop a game like that.
They don't know how.
And yeah, nobody... you can't teach them how.
You can't.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. No Wii U game has made good enough use of that thing except for Wonderful 101. Like, every other game on the Wii U is like, yeah, maybe you use it a little bit, but you feel like you don't have to be. I don't know.
So it was just weird that GameStop's CEO pointed that after his press conference. He was like, "No, I'm confident that will happen." And I'm like, "You're an idiot. You're just real dumb."
Oh, well, he could be in the chat.
But oh no!
Oh no! So, jumping off of that, we're on GameStop here.
GameStop.
Talk about their money, their sales and earnings.
Last quarter, they released all of their profits and junk.
Yeah. How's GameStop doing?
New software sales grew 15.6%.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I mean, growth is always good.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
is there anything surprising about all of this news?
Well, it shouldn't be surprising because, okay, so this is a quarter... this is also an article from MarketWatch, posted on August 21st. It's got a ton of numbers in it and a lot of information, so if you want the breakdown of everything, definitely look that up, because there is a lot in there. We're probably just going to skim over most of it. But this is... At first I thought, oh, this is great. GameStop is making money, people are buying video games. Good. But then I thought, wait, but new consoles just came out, and all of these games have been announced and are coming out for these new consoles. So game sales should be up significantly.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're better than they were last year is like, well, yeah, I'd hope they're better than they were last year.
Yeah, now that all the new consoles are
if
in
they
swing.
If they weren't better than they were last year, that would actually be horrible.
It would be a bad sign.
But what I was curious about was I was like, okay, how does this console launch compare to last generation's console launch? So I looked up the GameStop press release from 2007.
Yes.
This is a little
right here.
Yeah, this is a little different because the thing they just released for 2014 is a quarter earnings, whereas the press release from 2007 is a year.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, and I'm going to try
to... take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try and calculate... I'm going to just, multiply some of the quarter earning numbers times 4 to give, a better idea.
Okay.
Yeah. But they had a growth of... In 2007, they had an increase of 17.4% for the fourth quarter and 24.7% for the entire year.
Okay.
So overall, they did a little better back then.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like overall GameStop is in kind of a downward trend.
Well, I mean, when you say it that way, I mean all of these video game companies have been posting losses.
Yeah, we have talked about that in past episodes. Yeah.
So it's not that surprising, I guess, that they're not doing as strongly as they did back then, because the whole game industry has kind of been on a downswing for a little while now. You know, you have your periodic boosts to things, like with the new games coming out for the new consoles and everything, but generally speaking, we have been on a downward slope for a bit now. So that's not terribly surprising. I mean, where we go from here makes a big difference. I'm curious to see once all of these next-gen consoles, well, current-gen consoles, are more well-established, and we start seeing a lot of these new titles coming out in 2015 that are, like, exclusive for the new consoles, instead of having, like, you know, a version on the 360 and the PS3. Once we get all that stuff going, once the Generation 8 gets into full swing, how are we going to be doing after that? Like, is it going to still look... Are the numbers still going to be lower overall than past console generations, or is there going to be a boost at some point, or what, you know?
So, I know that for this quarter that they just posted about, they had a $1.73 billion in sales. Yes, total global sales for the second quarter of 2014 were $1.73 billion.
Okay.
So giving them the benefit of the doubt with that and saying, like, best case scenario, you're going to get that much in sales for the whole year for every quarter. That's probably not what's going to happen. It's likely that this quarter was the best and it will only go down.
Yeah.
But their best case scenario is just shy of $7 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you have, in 2007, they made a little over $7 billion as their profits for that year.
Mm.
So again, like, it's close, but it is lower.
Yes.
My other concern, and this speaks to sort of a larger trend that's been happening with consoles in general, is that the original Xbox came out in what, like 2001? Maybe a little later than that? It was like around that, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
And the 360 came out at the very end of 2005. It basically came out in 2007, because it was like the end of November in 2005. And then the PS3 came out around, like, right before the summer, or like sometime during the winter of 2006 or 2007.
It was 6, I believe.
Okay. So, if you think about between the original Xbox and the 360, that's like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And then between the 360 and the Xbone,
yes,
it's like 9 years.
Yes.
Almost.
The 7th console generation lasted a very long time.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's necessarily...
And it's still, the other thing that's weird with the 7th console generation, it's stuck around more after the 8th gen consoles launched than other past generations did.
Yeah.
Because this generation we saw, for the first time, a ton of games being made for both the new consoles and the previous consoles at the same time. Which I thought was bizarre compared to past generations.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
It's strange, and it's still, even with some fairly recent releases, like Wolfenstein still came out on the old consoles, and I'm sure some other things as well.
So, because there's so much emphasis on making the consoles like huge powerhouse machines, and they just keep getting more powerful, I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that the lifespan of the current generation will not be just as long as the previous one, if not maybe longer.
Yeah.
So we could be looking at 10 to 12 years before we see another Xbox.
Before it's viable for them to mass produce hardware that can do better than this stuff can.
Yeah, and I think that we saw a lot of the pain in GameStop sales and stuff. I'm theorizing, but I believe that most of that was due to the fact that because there was such a break between new consoles, there was just sort of time for them to kind of like wither without the new consoles to boost their sales numbers.
Yeah.
So going just as long again, or even longer without a new console, will only hurt them more.
Yes.
So, yeah, overall, I feel like the idea of brick and mortar, but specifically GameStop, is just in a downward trend.
Yeah.
And these numbers, even though they don't show it dramatically, I think they do sort of support that argument.
Right.
That was the point I wanted to make. That was my rant with this.
There you go. Good job. You did great. Journalism. Or game journalisms.
Game journalists are the scum of the earth.
Yeah, that's us.
But,
so what do we got next here? A Forbes article. Want to take us into this one?
Wait, did we talk about upcoming Pokemon game?
We didn't.
The shocking revelation.
We skipped the shocking revelation. Where did I put that thing?
I don't know. I think you closed the window.
I closed the window.
Way to go, Dan.
God. Pull it up on your little wappity top there.
I have it. So,
okay. Yeah, I want to see that horrifying Pikachu picture.
Dude, this is scary. In an article from Pocket Gamer published on the 19th, we have news that the Pokemon Company announced a shocking new Pokemon project.
Shocking.
Puns.
Can anybody guess what this shocking project was related to?
It was Pikachu.
You spoiled it.
I spoiled it.
You ruined it for everyone.
I know, no one can figure that out.
Oh my god. Oh my freaking god. I can't even believe you right now. We're done.
End the show.
End the show.
I ruined it.
Pull out the little cane to pull you off stage. So there's not a whole lot of information about this game, though.
Well, there was a lot of... They did talk a lot about the technology that they were using for it.
Yes, but not like... But I more meant the game specifically itself. Like, we don't really know exactly what it's going to be yet. Yeah,
they didn't say what the name of the game was going to be. They didn't say exactly what kind of game it was. They just said that they were making a game. It's going to be a Pokemon game.
Hey, you Pikachu, too. Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, they heavily implied it was going to be starring Pikachu. There had apparently been some news. There had been, rumors floating around a while ago about a Pikachu detective game maybe coming out.
Yes.
So it
just
seems...
like we always wanted.
Yeah. Well, I wanted it. I don't know about you.
Whenever I saw Pikachu, I was always thinking to myself, wouldn't this be better if he was a detective? Like, anytime I played Pokemon, I was like, why isn't Pikachu solving mysteries right now? Mystery.
No, see, I had a different reaction. Every time I was playing Phoenix Wright, I was always like, I really wish Pikachu was the star of this game.
Why isn't this man Pikachu? I mean, really, people.
Or any Sherlock Holmes game.
This is on the DS. I don't understand where Pikachu is. Where's Pikachu?
So, also, it was funny.
Where's Mario?
I was watching something on this announcement. I think it was on Destructoid. They did a video on it.
They did a little video about the Pikachu.
And they actually made a point that they should instead be making another Pokemon Snap game, and it should be for the Wii U, because you can use the game as a
Why
camera.
aren't they doing that?
I know, that would be amazing!
Like, this is the perfect time to make a Pokemon Snap sequel, and every hipster in the world will buy it.
Exactly.
Oh my god, Nintendo, you're so dumb. You're so dumb, Nintendo. This is just like how in the Smash Bros. Games, Captain Falcon's Final Smash is hitting you with this race car. Nobody wants to see that. Everyone wants a giant Falcon Punch.
Exactly.
If you're listening right now, say it in the chat. Be like, give us a giant Falcon Punch. What's up with this car? This sucks. Captain Falcon's my favorite character.
I mean, I know he drives cars, I understand.
I get it, but I'm consistently disappointed with his lackluster Final Smash.
What if it was a giant kick instead?
That's fine, too. I want a big flaming falcon on the screen, is what I'm saying.
That's true.
That's all I asked for. Not this Pikachu crap.
So
that was harsh, I'm sorry.
So the Pokemon Company president, whose name I cannot pronounce...
I'll do it just fine.
Do you want to... You've been to Japan, you know.
I've been to Japan. They said this name to me every day. Tsunekazu Ishihara.
Oh, jeez. So he made that announcement. But there's also voice actors from the Pokemon anime are going to be working on this. You can also pronounce their names if you'd like.
Do I have more names to pronounce? Hold on a second. I was going to respond in chat. Nobuhiko I blundered that one. Nobuhiko Okamoto and Aoi Yuki.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome. I'm learning the Japanese.
Damn, ladies and gentlemen. But we know that this game...
Nintendo has joined. Oh no! This is some pressure. Sweating intensifies.
So we know one of the things this is going to use on the Wii U is some voice recognition software. If you look at the screenshots...
So this is Hey You Pikachu too.
Oh yeah, it is. Because
that game you had a microphone and you yelled at it to get Pikachu to
That was
do
not
stuff.
a game that I enjoyed.
It was poor. It was poorly made.
It was...
If I had to choose one word to describe Hey You Pikachu, that word is poor.
If I was going to give it a number out of 10, I would give it maybe a 9 out of 10. Pretty poor.
Pretty poor. Not their best showing. My days at IGN have served me well for scoring games. Metacritic, everyone.
So yeah, this is going to use voice recognition software, and it's horrifying. If you look at the screenshots of this...
Yeah.
Look them up on I don't know, just look up the article. You can look it up on Pocket Gamer.
Well, like the little one on the TV of the like room with the targeter looks like it's from Resident Evil or something.
Well, that's fine.
But then there's this other one of this like I don't even know how to describe that Pikachu.
It's just so
it's also creepy that there's like half of a human being's wireframe in the frame.
Well, the idea is that you make faces, it looks at those with the wireframe, and then it transmits it to the Pikachu face, so it's like he's making the same expressions.
Oh my god!
But it just
I wish so bad that I had a big, like, model bust of Jack Nicholson.
To point the camera
at and have it make this, like, horrific Jack Nicholson Pikachu face. I mean, that's kind of what that is already.
A little bit.
But he has these fat little arms. This Pikachu just looks wrong. He looks wrong. He looks like a knockoff bootleg Pikachu.
Oh,
you would buy at a flea market or something.
One of the things I heard about this is a rumor about it is that Pikachu might be going around fighting evil versions of himself.
That's interesting.
And maybe that's just one of the demented versions of himself.
This is probably some kind of demented serial murderer Pikachu that they put into this video game. You need to hunt him down to the full extent of Pokemon law, which is usually just taking half of the person's money.
So this game could be incredible or horrifying or just quite poor. Let's hope that maybe it's a mix of incredible and a little horrifying. I think that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm holding out.
Yeah. Sure.
Hey, did you just tune in?
Oh.
No? Okay, let's continue. But if you did just tune in, you're listening to Don't Copy That Floppy. We're a weekly video game news podcast. We broadcast live on chipbit.net. If you listen to an on-site player, you can download a playlist file, listen in iTunes. So many options. We've got a Facebook.
Don't Copy That Floppy.
We've got a Twitter.
At DCATF Podcast.
We've got an iTunes.
We've got it.
Yeah, it's also Don't Copy That Floppy. Yeah, that's all you need to
And
search.
you can go on the website and chat with us.
Yeah, if you go to Chipbit, at the top of the page, of the homepage, there is a chat option. You can just make a username, log in, and while we're broadcasting live, which is between 7 and 8 p.m. on Fridays,
yes,
you can talk to us. You can tell us how bad our opinions are. You can tell us we pronounced names wrong from an article, although we didn't, because Dan knows what he's doing, all right?
I'm
don't get up in our business.
I'm a professional Japanese name pronouncer.
You don't even know.
Someone gave me money for it once.
Paid. Professional in the industry.
Professional in the industry. So let's talk about this Forbes article that appeared.
Forbes article posted on
yesterday, till the 21st.
Yeah, August 21st. The 10 most desirable video game companies to work for.
Let's work from number 10 down. If anybody in the chat would like to guess what number 1 is, now's your chance.
It's actually pretty easy.
Don't spoil it, jeez.
I already spoiled something.
So let's start. Episode. Number 10, Bethesda Game Studios.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, you want to make the next Skyrim.
Yes.
The next Scrim.
Number
No, EA, surprisingly, Pixel Drift says EA ? That is wrong.
Wrong.
EA did not make this list for some reason.
Who knows? Number 9, Double Fine. Tim Schafer's studio.
So this was my first upset on this list because I thought that would be way higher because it's not that studio makes a lot of money, so maybe it wouldn't be a very lucrative career.
Yeah.
But man, they look like they have so much fun.
Yes.
And he's just like a legend in the industry. I would love to work for him.
Yeah. Number 8, Naughty Dog, which is what was my first upset, because I expected Naughty Dog to be higher on this list, actually. Especially with how well they've been doing lately. I'd imagine they got a pretty good whole workplace environment going on right now. Number 7, Big N, Nintendo.
I thought that would be higher as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because nobody likes the Wii U. So
maybe it's just because
dropped it that far down on the list.
Number 6.
Current employer.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Whoever they're already working for, they'll keep it. That was weird. That was really weird that was on the list at all. Because I'm but the whole point of the list is your dream job.
Yeah.
So you're already working at your dream job? I mean, I guess you are.
Yes. Yes, that is correct.
But that's weird.
Current employer dethroned from spot 5 by Ubisoft, which I can understand.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing
Ubisoft
that I thought
seems
would
like nice guys. They let Michel Ancel leave to just do his own thing.
They let him leave.
They let him leave.
They let him be fired.
They didn't chain him up in a little French dungeon. An oubliette.
An oubliette, exactly, Dan. So punny! Puns. Do you have any puns? Leave them in the chat. But yeah, so that was... Ubisoft is this company that I thought would be in the 9 or 10 spot. Or the 8 or 9 or 10 spot.
Yes.
Right? Because they're especially now, they're just we're going to make an Assassin's Creed game every year. So
every year.
So if you're working on them, you're working on an Assassin's Creed game. And that's all you're ever going to work on.
Yes.
And that seems like it would be really monotonous.
Yes.
And the whole corporate part of working for a AAA studio that I wouldn't like.
Yeah. Number 4, BioWare. The studio that has fallen from grace.
Yeah, I'm surprised
a lot of
that was
people's
high
eyes.
on the list,
Yeah.
just because of what's happening with it recently.
Yeah, with their higher up people moving on, and EA buying them several years ago now was a big kind of I don't know about this.
It seems like it's becoming super, super corporate, soulless corporate.
Which is a shame, because they started so full of life and joy. Activision Blizzard at number 3, which I didn't really think would be that high.
Yeah, again, this was one of those things where, I'd love to work at Activision Blizzard if it was 2005.
Yeah.
But for so long, they've just been they put out StarCraft 2, which was okay. I wasn't super enamored with it. They put out Diablo 3, which wasn't very good. And otherwise, they're just just keep milking that WoW money.
Yeah.
Make another expansion.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. And that seems to be sort of what they've been doing for a good number of years. So again, and again, that's not Activision. Activision's doing other stuff, but that's what Blizzard is doing. And I think that for the most part, people are thinking of Blizzard when it comes to this.
One of our chat room people brings up that Pokemon comes out every year, too.
That's true.
So that could get rather monotonous for the developers as well, because those games don't necessarily innovate a terribly large amount. Although isn't Pokemon made by a separate company from Nintendo, technically?
I think
there's the Pokemon Company is generally separate.
Yeah.
So the Pokemon Company's not on this list.
No.
No. But at the same time, Nintendo... I mean, we can talk about Nintendo anyway, because they also have... I mean, you get Mario games, which get pretty monotonous, I would imagine, and come out incredibly frequently. A lot of Nintendo's major IPs are not innovating a whole lot as of late. So,
What did someone in the chat mention? Game Freak?
Game Freak is Nintendo or the Pokemon guys.
Oh yeah.
Game Freak. Game Freak. Yes.
That's true. Thank you, chat. You're already helping. But no, so I think most people are talking about Blizzard for this and rating it as highly for the same reason probably that they rated the number 1 company, but it's because Blizzard has this big thing, and they've always had this and they continue to have it, and I'm happy that they do this, that they will not put out a game until it's ready.
Yes.
And they're we know we have this deadline, but we have to delay it because our developers say that it needs more time.
Which was always a kind of double-edged thing for them. They always got a lot of complaining about that, but then when the games finally came out, they always got people saying, oh, I'm so glad you delayed it because it's super good.
Yeah, so I assume that the developers are hey, if I want to take a nacho break while I'm at Blizzard, totally fine.
Totally cool. So number 2 on this list, my own company.
So yeah, starting your own company didn't come in at number 1.
Nope.
No.
Because there's something better than your own company. Can anyone guess what it is? Too late. Too bad. Because we're going to say it. It's... That was your last chance. Anyone in chat? Valve.
Oh, I was going to say Gabe Newell.
It's working for Gabe Newell.
Yes.
I mean, that's basically what you're doing. So yeah, Valve came in at number 1, which actually, when I heard it, didn't surprise me.
No.
Like, that was the least surprising thing on this list, in my opinion.
Because we know that they're willing to delay stuff to make sure it's good.
Yes. Like Half-Life 3.
Like Half-Life 3.
They're just delaying. It's just delayed. It's coming. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. It's fine. It's away. It's going to be so good when it comes out.
We'll never see that game.
No.
But no,
I'm very sad about that.
What was really weird about that is when I think of Valve these days, like, I don't really think of games.
Yeah, they've gotten into a lot of other stuff.
They sell games.
They do. The Steam service is like a big thing.
And they made like Team Fortress.
Yeah.
And
that was a while ago now.
And I mean, they keep updating it.
Yeah.
And I love them, don't get me wrong, but I don't primarily think of them as a game design company anymore.
Well, they're trying to do their console too.
And all those things I love.
Yeah.
So, but if I was a game designer, I wouldn't be jumping to work for them.
I don't know.
I'd be jumping to buy things from them because I already am, because I do all the time.
So, this...
Dude Time guessed right. Good job, Dude Time.
Good job, Dude Time.
You guessed Valve.
You're great. You're great. You're great. You guessed Valve just in time.
You have the wisdom of an oracle.
So, and the article does state, like, that it is easy to see that most of the developers or publishers listed here are the ones generally pretty beloved by fans.
Yeah.
Well, the villains, quote-unquote, of the industry, like EA and Zynga, are nowhere to be found. What a surprise! Working for Zynga is terrible.
Strange.
Shocker.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. What is wrong with Zynga? And the article also does say that they're surprised to see Ubisoft above Nintendo, Naughty Dog, and Double Fine.
Just like we were.
Just like we were.
For similar reasons.
And yeah, they brought up the same thing you did about Assassin's Creed as an annual series and Far Cry.
Listen,
following the same path.
I would say that I just stole all that from this article, but I didn't read that far into the article, so I couldn't have.
Destroy that credibility right now, so you don't look like you plagiarized.
It's a double-edged sword.
You have no credibility either way.
On the one hand, I didn't plagiarize. On the other hand, I didn't do any research.
You're finally a real games journalist.
I can get a job at IGN now. Screw this podcast.
Yeah! So yeah, that's fun. Let's talk about Robin Williams. So Robin Williams, I'm sure pretty much everybody knows at this point, but Robin Williams passed away not long ago now. Yes. Much to the dismay of just about everybody.
Now, there have been a lot of petitions to have him put in various things.
Yes, that he had a part in.
Yeah.
Or what, like, things that were important to. There's one about Zelda, I believe.
Yeah.
Because he loved the Legend of Zelda series. He named his daughter Zelda.
And he did that commercial, which was sweet.
Yeah, it was great. But one of the other things is that the people playing World of Warcraft, Robin Williams played World of Warcraft, I believe. And so the reason being behind this is that, you know, it was a game that he actually enjoyed and spent time in, and that people wanted to see him kind of immortalized in World of Warcraft in some form or another. Recently, data mined files from the latest beta build of, I guess, the next expansion, people have found the addition of a new NPC called Robin the Entertainer, and this character is a genie.
A genie!
Very appropriately. People were saying that some people were saying that since he's a genie, that leaves open the door for him to shapeshift, with the idea of a troll called Jumanji being very popular among the fan base right now.
Right.
Other forms. Oh no, these are spotted in the files already. Okay. That other forms include a human female, likely a nod to Mrs. Doubtfire, and a human male who we suspect may be Mork. Everybody's favorite incarnation of Robin Williams.
Well, it depends on your generation, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But it's nice to see that they're doing a broad spectrum
Definitely.
of things with it. And so it's not known where the characters will be featured, or if they'll offer any quests or anything else. And Blizzard has not confirmed that these are the tributes that they previously promised, because they did say that they were planning on doing something in regard to Robin Williams.
Dude, it should be a whole quest where you have to like go through a dungeon that's the Cave of Wonders, and then you find him at the end of it.
That would be spectacular.
That would be sweet. And it would be like super hard to do, so it's like this whole thing where you have to like actually work for it.
Nintendo, as its response to the fan petition, said that they extended their condolences to his family and friends, but did not talk about any immediate plans to pay tribute to him. So maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I think Nintendo just doesn't have an idea yet of what they're gonna do. So yeah, that's a neat little sort of act of goodwill almost. It's a cool little thing, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I think, Robin Williams would probably appreciate it too. I think he'd think that was pretty cool. So
Get a kick out.
Yeah, you get a kick out of it. Let's talk about some upcoming video games here.
What do we have?
What do we have? What is it, the 22nd? We talked about it last week, but Super Time Force Ultra coming out on the 25th.
Windows.
The
finally.
Windows version of Super Time Force. Gotta get that.
Hyperdimension
Neptunia Rebirth 1.
So that's
a
Japanese game, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's very Japanese.
Wow.
Hyperdimension Neptunia is a JRPG series which takes place in a magical fantasy world divided into countries.
They've never done that before.
Divided into countries which each represent one of the major video game consoles.
Wait, really?
Yes, I'm not joking.
Wow,
They are all ruled by a pretty anime girl, and one of them is Xbox, one of them is Nintendo, and one of them is PlayStation. And they're like at war. And I believe the villain in the second game represents console piracy. They're kind of tongue-in-cheek.
Okay.
Like, they're not meant to be really serious.
Is it like funny? Is the writing
good? It's anime funny.
Yeah.
So your mileage may vary.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Anime funny tends to be either funny or very not funny. It runs a big spectrum there.
So then after that, Infamous First Light coming out on PS4.
Yes.
Madden NFL 15.
Is Infamous First Light a DLC for Second Son? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And they have been talking about that at E3, I believe.
Oh, okay. I have not been paying attention to things about Infamous for a long time.
You don't love Infamous?
I liked the first game. I never played the second one.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't play the second one, and now I'm kind of like, eh.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with Infamous. I thought the first game was great.
Metro Redux. I actually don't know what that is.
Metro Redux. It's a remake of Metro Last Light by the looks of it. Re-release.
Okay.
Got Madden NFL 15. Come on, cheer. Do something. Get excited.
But you combine on the PS3 or the PS4 or the Xbox 360 or the Expo.
Just what I wanted. So then we also have Walking Dead Season 2 No Going Back, which I was very confused about because I assumed that it was the Walking Dead...
The Telltale Games
The Telltale Games one, but I guess it's not.
No.
It's a video game about Season 2 of the show.
Because the last chapter of the Telltale Games thing came out recently.
Yeah. So who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would you play a bad licensed game like that when you could play a good licensed game?
Exactly. You know what comes out on the 29th?
What comes out
Check
on the 29th?
That out.
Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
That sounds fun. That just sounds like a barrel of laughs. I'm excited for that. I don't know how much I'm going to play it, but I'm excited.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, a lot of people... I remember when that was announced in Japan, a lot of people were speculating whether it would even make its way over overseas. So that's cool that it actually did. They localized the whole thing. So, I mean, my relationship with Professor Layton games is rocky at best. I'm bad at brain teasers, and I get mad when I can't solve them.
Oh, no.
So it's just terrible. That game and me have an abusive relationship. So we don't have a whole lot of time left.
No, it's 8.
But we ran out of articles. We started late though, so we technically have like 5 minutes. We should field questions from chat.
Yeah, did anyone have any questions?
Would anyone like to ask us some questions? I don't feel like complaining about Dishonored right now. We can do that later.
Alright. Want to complain about Diablo 3?
No.
Okay, fine. Listen, one thing I will say about Diablo 3,
Okay.
and this is actually not a complaint.
Talk about Diablo 3 until we get some questions up in this
not
chat.
A complaint. This is the thing that I loved about Diablo 3. The real money auction house system worked for me, like, really well.
Did it?
Because it didn't launch until a little later.
Because I heard people mostly complaining about that.
No, I thought it was amazing.
Okay.
It didn't launch until a little later, so I was like, and I thought it was going to be there, like, right when the game launched. So I was a little bummed about that, but then I just got really ready for it. And then as soon as it started, I just started posting stuff up, and I'd, like, already been, like, tracking prices and stuff. I made back all the money I spent on the game in 2 weeks in just selling stuff in the auction house.
That's pretty cool,
But
actually.
the thing is, after 2 weeks, everyone realized that the auction house was stupid because all these people are posting all these copies of all these items, so all of the market value of everything just went through the floor. So I made a bunch of money in the only window in which you were actually getting a reasonable amount of actual money for these items.
Huh. Well, I mean, cool.
Yeah, and now they've closed it down, which they definitely should have, because...
So in chat, our question is, what is our stance on abortion?
Well...
Our stance on abortion is that it is not video games.
Yeah, it's kind of not relevant.
Please keep the questions video game related. I probably should have said that earlier.
Thank you for the question, though.
Thank you very much. I'm glad we're engaging you.
Due time, we appreciate your support.
We do, a lot.
Regardless of your beliefs on...
Your stance on abortion.
Yeah.
Or video games.
Or video games. Or abortion in video games.
Is that ever
Surgeon
even...
Simulator.
Is that in Surgeon Simulator?
No, it's not. It's definitely not in Surgeon Simulator.
I was going to say.
That would be a very controversial Surgeon Simulator.
It's a controversial game right there.
The ESRB would have to be reformed because there would be more congressional hearings over it.
Well, it doesn't look like we're really getting any more questions.
That's fine.
That's totally fine. That was a real zinger right there. So, wrapping things up. If you just kind of caught us right at the end here, Search Simulator, perform an abortion with a saw and a hammer. Only the finest tools available. So anyway, if you're only just tuning in now and you just heard that, we're a video game news show.
You probably really don't want to listen to this anymore. Sorry.
Video game news show. We are Don't Copy That Floppy. We broadcast on Chipbit Radio, which you can locate at chipbit.net. You can download a playlist file to listen to it on iTunes, or just listen to it on the on-site player. If you hop on the little chat icon up in the top, you can chat with us during the show. And the show lasts from 7 to 8 p.m. on Fridays.
Yep.
Yes.
You can like us on Facebook, Don't Copy That Floppy.
Yes.
You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF Podcast. And now you can subscribe to us on iTunes.
Yes.
Still, Don't Copy That Floppy.
And if you follow us on Twitter or Facebook, you will get any updates relevant to the show. We always post a little update when we're about to start recording.
And we'll post some of the articles we're going to talk about at the end of the week. We'll throw those up.
And if we have to delay the show for any reason whatsoever, you can find that information there.
Definitely.
Sometimes life comes up.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, I guess if you have articles that you want us to cover on the show...
Oh yeah, feel free to post them onto the Facebook.
Go for it, because
we're always looking for material.
Yeah.
This week has been a little ho-hum as far as video game news.
Yeah, last week
usually we have more than enough to fill our time, but this was a little dicey.
I mean, one of the things that happened this week was we got to see a half an hour of gameplay from Witcher.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Sort of held off on talking about that because I'd only watched a little bit of it, and we had seen bits and pieces of the gameplay that showcased the new stuff.
I saw that had come out before we started recording, and I was like, oh, I don't have time to watch it now. So
yeah, we know a lot of that new gameplay stuff.
Yeah.
And we talked about it on past episodes.
Yeah.
So...
And we already talked about how The Witcher 3 looks awesome.
Oh my God.
With that, we wish you all a good night. Thank you for joining us in the chat, those of you who did.
Oh, yeah.
And don't forget, don't copy that floppy.